I would be remiss, certainly here on MLK Day, to ask you about the advancement of certainly people of color in the Rooney Rule and coaching in the National Football League, and where you think that all stands. I know you and I had an interesting Twitter exchange last week while I was on the air, and you were commenting about the Browns not choosing your defensive coordinator, Robert Saleh. What do you think of the current state of affairs on that front, Richard Sherman?
I think it's unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate that coaches of color have continued to deal with this issue. And, obviously, we're about to play an offense coordinator who deserved a head coaching job this year and Bieniemy. And it's like no matter what their resume says or what their reputation, how much success they have in this league, they don't get the respect or, the respect enough to be picked as a head coach. And then you get coaches who either come from college or have very little experience being a head coach or even coordinator, for that matter, and they get picked. It's just
And so, do you really? I mean, and I know this may sound in some ways naive, but I'll just ask the question: do you really think it's a color issue that an owner will sit there and go, "I will take somebody that's not a person of color because I think better of that person," or they think they can handle it? Is it really come down to that in your mind?
Well, that's what's crazy. You present those questions to me, and I don't mean this to offend at all, but
nope.
But we get presented those questions as players, and we're not the ones who make those decisions. At the end of the day, the owners make those decisions, and nobody ever asks them that question. The ones who actually can make those decisions and hire the head coaches and make the hard decisions and can answer the question whether it's about color or not, those guys don't get asked the questions, and that's the frustrating part. We have to answer questions like that when at the end of the day I don't have say so in it. I don't get to pick. Sure, I would have picked a coach of color. I would have picked whoever is the best man for the job. Mm-hmm. It's not my decision, and the people who make those decisions never get asked questions.
And what does Robert Saleh have that you've seen that says, this guy would be a great head coach in the NFL?
He has all the qualities, man. He's a great leader. He's great at adapting to his players. He plays to his players' strengths. He relates to his players. He takes input. He criticizes, but never too harshly. You know what I mean? He knows how to talk to his players more.
Okay, and then last one for you, the collective bargaining agreement. I know that you're on occasion when you can focus on that and your role with the Players Association. There's a lot of talk that the 17-game schedule has been agreed to, and that a lot of other issues have been agreed to, with financial issues outstanding. Would that be an accurate assessment of the way things are right now, Richard?
It would not. It would not be an accurate assessment, and that's also the funny thing about. About media and how they portray things and how the owners have a hand in manipulating the media and manipulating the conversation, because we're in no way, shape, or form have agreed to 17 games. That's a issue that players strongly against, and just about every player that I talk to is strongly against it. Now, it's still a conversation between us, and if players change their mind in the future, then who knows? But that's not something that we agree and that we think is a good idea moving forward.
What about the idea of a change in player discipline and also the way that the league views marijuana use? Has that been agreed to as a relaxed rule?
No, it hasn't been, and it's just. It's been a conversation, but it's kind of been in the background. Obviously, there's been more important conversations about revenue and discipline, and obviously the schedule. So it hasn't been at the forefront.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live, or download the Rich Eisen Show app.